I'm so mad. I'm so disappointed. Not because of something I did, but because of something I am. This is my bicycle. You could probably tell it's my bike just by looking at it, because this is exactly the type of bicycle that people have claimed they would witness me with. Witness such things as having wheels that are way too big for its own good and to a ridiculous degree. Such things as having a giant stupid tear in the seat that actually makes this incredibly uncomfortable and almost downright painful to use, but more on that later. Witness the hilarious amount of rust on basically every possible joint. And the fact that the speed transmission stick wheel thing is completely busted. You're on speed number 6, and if you don't like it, then pedal faster. It says 7, but it's on 6. A witness to the unholy eldritch horrors of the brake that is just, it's all rusted. I'm surprised that it still works. And over here, you got all these speeds. Oh wait, I think it actually is on 7. This thing doesn't lie. It's stuck on 7 instead of 6. Great, that makes it even harder to pedal. This has been my bicycle for as long as I can remember. It is a Mongoose Dolomite made in 2017. And I mean, it looks terrible. It's in really bad shape. But that's absolutely not because I didn't care for it. Because this thing, wow, I used it a lot. I used it basically until I couldn't stand using it anymore, which is where we're at right now. I'm gonna fix it, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's inevitable. I've had this thing since like 2017. And the reason that I got it, and the reason why it looks like this, is because we used to live on biking trails. Who would have thought that the guy with the mountain bike with the big stupid mountain bike wheels existed in a land of biking trails? You wanted to go to the park, you take a bike. You wanted to go down to the mall, you take the bike. The mall was literally like 5 minutes away by car, about half an hour away by bicycle. And there were so many biking trails everywhere that there was no need to drive if you were just going anywhere in the area. You'd take the bike. So I used the life out of this thing, and it has suffered severe wear and tear from that. I mean, even the thing that holds the seat up is all rusty. That's scary. That's a lot of rust. I really need to do something about this. But like, so many parts are rusted beyond repair that I'm basically going to have to replace every single tiny screw. That's gonna take forever and be very expensive, because I'm sure all these parts are proprietary, because that's what big companies do. They make proprietary garbage for every possible section that they can get away with. But like, I'm at the point where I need a bike. I really do need a new bike. I cannot drive this thing around reliably. It barely brakes. You can't change the speed. It's hilariously uncomfortable, and the tires keep deflating for some reason. They're not popped, but they will not stay inflated, so that's probably another thing I'm gonna have to buy. And I finally bought a new bicycle. Keep in mind the referee that we have for the kind of bike that I like. What? Huh? What is this? Are you kidding me? I'm a functioning member of society now. No! This thing is a Concorde Class 2. It is literally, even the name sounds like it's a functioning member of society. This is the most functional member of society put around New York Times Square kind of bicycle I've ever seen in my life. And look at this big stupid idiot. Look at it and compare it to this. There are no similarities anywhere. The only similarities that this has is that they have 2 wheels and they kind of are controlled by a handle. But like, the wheels are different, the style of tire is different. Like, it doesn't have tires that are so big that it's destroying my life. The tires are actually cromulently sized. Why did I buy this? Instead of having a big, ridiculous, stupid double connector, whatever this thing is here, instead it's got this big, thick bar in the middle that just looks weird. It's a weird looking bicycle. The handlebars are so far away from the wheel. It's like 2 feet between the wheel and the handlebars. When you compare this to the Mongoose, they're like right there. It's so different. It's such a different looking bicycle. It makes no sense. This is an e-bike. A folding e-bike at that. And Walmart gave me the wrong key. And the handlebars aren't even like aligned properly with the wheels. So I'm gonna have to figure out why that is. It seems like a no-brainer that this isn't really a bike that I would probably drive around. I really wish this iPhone would stop switching cameras. We don't even have the luxury of grippy tires. This is like city-style tires. They do have grip to them, yes, but it's not even remotely close to being the same style of bike as what the Mongoose was. If you were to take this to the trails that I used to ride around on before, good luck. This thing would not survive. There is absolutely no way. Looking at this, it wouldn't make it. But one thing that I can immediately say was immediately apparent and way better than my other bike is the kickstand. That's what you call a kickstand. You look at this thing, it's all rusted up, and it's just... Ugh! Yuck! Ew! That's a sound. Oh yeah. That sounds powerful. That's a kickstand. The kickstand is better. The seat is honestly way better. Like, it's a larger seat that you can actually sit on, while the Mongoose is like, this is like a performance bike. Like, this is made to be, it's not even centered. It's not aligned. This bike is such a nugget. Yeah, the grips are okay, but they're kind of falling apart a little bit. The brakes barely work. These brakes are so loose, they hardly work at all. While these grips, they've got like actual grips to them you can hold on to, but at the side effect to where... The brakes feel so much better. They are heavy in just the right way. The speed changer actually makes sense. Like, look at this speed changer. You push this, and it goes up a speed. You pull this thing back, and it resets again. And look, the speed-changing gearbox isn't all bent out of shape. It actually makes sense. And then, yeah, you roll this thing, you pedal it, and that'll switch into gear, no problem. It's got a rack on the back so that you can attach things to it. I 100% plan on getting, like, a bucket tray for the back of this thing to put things on, because there's no excuse. There's a lot of room back there. Seats adjustable, the handlebars, you can move those up and down, and it even has a bell. There you go. Bell didn't work the first time. My bike doesn't have a bell. And then it's got the throttle of mystery. We'll get back to this in a minute. I've always kind of hated the speed changing thing on this, because you just have to brute force it into whatever position you want it to be in and then hope that it doesn't bounce back as soon as you let go of it. Which means you kind of have to take your hand off the handle to be able to screw with that and then put your hand back on. It's always been dangerous. I've never really gotten used to it. And even when it worked well, it didn't work that well. Oh, here's another reason why I like this kickstand way more. The kickstand on the Mongoose, I've been wanting to vent about this for years. But you can put the pedals down, and now the bike is wedged. You cannot put the pedals forward. You cannot take the kickstand off. It's stuck like that. You cannot do it. It's a freaking pain in the ass to fix. You have to lift the whole bike up, and the bike weighs like 80 pounds, so it's really, really heavy. And then you have to like freaking lift it and get that out of the way. And then there you go. Now you have access to your kickstand again. While this one, the kickstand is so far back that whether it's down or up, it doesn't impede your usage on the pedals. But even with all that stuff aside, it doesn't really matter unless the bike is pleasant to ride. And keep in mind, I have always ridden bikes like this. This has been the bike that I've ridden since I got it. And I absolutely still plan on fixing it. Like, I've said all this stuff that I don't like about it, but I still love this bike. It's a really nice bicycle, and it's fun to ride this thing around with its big stupid tires that just bounce off of any kind of curb you bump into, and like it's not even there. This thing doesn't like curbs at all. Look at how tiny the wheels are. Even for regular bike standards, the wheels are small. Anybody could tell you that. But like, I like this kind of bike. It takes energy and strength to get used to it and pedal through it. Being stuck on the 7 speed means that it is physically hard to get pedaling, but once you're pedaling fast, you're going, and you will keep going as long as you can hold it up. It is very, very nice to ride this thing around. So what's it like to ride this around? This stupid, derpy-looking, nanny, functional member of society Karen wants to go put down to Walmart to yell at the manager-looking-ass bicycle. Well, I think that e-bikes have kind of ruined the reputation that bikes have because they've made the experience of using a bicycle way too easy for most people. I think that bikes are kind of a basic thing that you should know how to ride. If you can't ride a regular bicycle like this, why do you have the privilege of having an e-bike do all the work for you? I say get good and learn how to ride a bicycle. Let's say on a 1 to 10 scale that riding this is a 10. Riding this thing is a 72. Holy doofus! Why is this so fun to ride? I rode this thing around like almost all night last night because I couldn't stop. My face was so red from smiling so aggressively while riding this bicycle around. This thing is insane. It is so cool in so many ways. And now it makes sense to me. The whole point of e-bikes makes perfect sense. This is not in any way a scapegoat to getting out of learning how to ride a bicycle. That's level 1. This is level 2. I am going to immediately say that you should not try and ride anything like this until you know how to ride a basic bicycle. And that's great because you can totally use this thing just as a basic bicycle without even using the e-bike parts of it. As you can just turn the e-bike off and you only use the e-bike when you deliberately want to use the e-bike. It is super nice to control the e-bike parts of it, and I'll explain why e-bikes work and how they work and all that stuff in just a moment. But like, oh my goodness, this thing is fun and hilariously dangerous. Like, I was like, oh my god, I might actually die on this bicycle, but I don't even care because it's that much fun. So let's get the obvious thing out of the way that I was worried about, right? How do the motors impede the usage as a regular bicycle? Because I have always been under the impression that if you were to use an e-bike without the electronic components turned on, it would be bogged down by, like, you could feel the motors trying to resist you the whole time, and you just have to fiddle with it, and it's just a pain in the ass. Absolutely not. The motors are only in effect when you want them to be. When they're not, it kind of just adds to the ratcheting mechanism, like what you see when you turn the bike pedals backwards. That's just added on to it. You don't even notice that there's a motor there until you turn that motor on. And then stupid, crappy Cybertruck style bikes like the Revo definitely didn't help by being just a nuisance to society that didn't work. That's kind of like putting a staple on, wow, this thing sucks. I wonder if all e-bikes are like that. That's kind of like what happened to me. I didn't like e-bikes because of stuff like that existing. Like that, the Cyclotron 9000 or whatever that is, another like hubless e-bike that just didn't work and never really came out. Other e-bikes like those stupid concept ones, none of those work. This in practice works so much better. You could completely use this thing just out of his bike and ignore that it's an e-bike. If you don't want to use it, it's not there. If you want it to, there it is. And then that begs the question, what does the actual e-bike even do? Because like over here, you've got this power switch and a little thing that you can open up to charge it. So there you go. And obviously all the e-bike components are just in this little nugget that's attached behind the seat. So that's just there. And then all of this lock does is keep you from being able to turn it on. So that's a thing you can do. I don't have the right key for it. Walmart gave me the wrong one, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But regardless, you have this little heads-up display up here next to the left handlebar. You do this, and it turns on. And then you have 2 other buttons you can access. Most of the time, you're gonna be focusing on this green mode button right here. But then you also have a headlight, and you can turn it on. And the headlight is moderately bright. It's not very good. It works, but the headlight just doesn't have that much range out in front of you. I rode this at night and the headlight was basically useless. It only affected what was like between the bike and where the mongoose is sitting. You really can't see anything past that because the light just fades out of existence from there forward. So that's an unfortunate detail, but I'm glad that it does have a headlight anyways, and you can adjust it to change that around, so I'll probably fiddle with that this evening. But like, then you have the battery indicator here. It's got 4 switches, that works. But the button here that says mode, you can see it's on low, and now it's on medium, and now it's on high. What does that mean? Well, that basically means the amount of power that the motor will put into the actual bike. And the way that works is there's 2 different ways that it works. One is way better than the other. And so right here, you have this, which is a throttle. If you couldn't tell by the fact that it looks like a throttle and it feels like a throttle, That's your speed throttle. So if you're pedaling this and you just hit this, it will immediately kick on, and then you can stop pedaling and the bike will just go. And it'll keep going until it hits the max speed that whatever mode you're in can provide. So if it's in low, that's about 10 miles an hour. Oh yeah, I turned it off. If it's in low, it's about 10 miles an hour. In medium, it's like 15. And in high, it's about 20 to 25. But that is the less interesting thing that it does. What is way more interesting and what I love is the pedal assist function. And if that doesn't really make sense, basically, if you don't touch the throttle at all and you have it set into a mode, once it gets up to like a low speed, as you're pedaling, you will feel the motor kick in and start pedaling it with you. So it doesn't do everything for you, but it does help you out. So as you're pedaling, it will go way faster than it would have been going if you had the pedal assist turned off. And then if you stop pedaling, it immediately shuts off, so you're not out of control. You're always in full control of your bicycle. And I love that mixed with the throttle, because if you use these two functions in tandem, you get the best experience out of using this bike. Let's say you're using the pedal assist and you're just pedaling, and then at some point your legs get tired. Well, you can stop pedaling at any time and just do this, and the bike will keep going at the same speed you were at. If you were going faster than the pedal assist can reasonably help you out with, it'll slow down a little bit, but it'll still be going at a moderately high speed. And in the high setting, it gets going really fast, like hilariously fast even. You need to know how to control a bike when it's going really fast in order to comfortably use this thing. And that's why I say, if the Mongoose over there is level 1, this is level 2. Because if you're not good at using a bike, you shouldn't be relying on the pedal assist and throttle functions when using this. You should just use it as a bike until you get really good at it to a point where you are properly comfortable using that throttle and pedal assist. Because it gets scary. The speed in which this thing gets going at can be kind of terrifying. And you can just slow yourself down, but you gotta remember that if you don't turn that off, as soon as you start pedaling again, it's gonna start speeding up again. So you gotta know how to handle it. And if you don't, probably an accident waiting to happen. But if you do, it's fun. Very fun. I mean, the reason why I'm so disappointed is because, like, there's two things. One, I can't even show you any footage of me riding it, because you know how sometimes things just randomly disappear for absolutely no reason and you never see them again? That happened to the thing that connects my phone mount to my helmet. So I have absolutely no way of recording outside of the Apple Vision Pro, which I'm not riding this at damn near terminal velocity with an Apple Vision Pro on my head. But more importantly, this thing is so fun. I can't stand it. Why is it so fun? I love this thing to death. I don't like this kind of bike. It's made for like city streets and stuff. I like big, stupid, ridiculous mountain bikes that are super freaking hard to get up to speed and take like 10 minutes of pedaling before you finally get up to speed. And then by the time you get up to speed, your legs are so tired from trying to get up to speed that you just don't even want to deal with it anymore. That's the kind of bike that I grew up with, and that's the kind of bike that I love. This thing is made for people who are functioning members of society, not insane doofuses like me. But I've been had in the best way possible. This bike rocks. I love it to death. It's so fun and so cool. I've basically no complaints with it. The only complaint that I have with this bike is the fact that the freaking handlebars aren't aligned with the wheel for whatever reason. I'll figure out how to fix that eventually, but even then it's not to a point where it's unusable. That is the only complaint that I have found with this bicycle. Everything other than that, it is super usable, super fun, and it wasn't even that expensive. About $450 for this. That's like the same price as the Mongoose over there back when we got it. I paid the same for this as for that bike that barely works. And this is so usable that I don't even feel like fixing the other bike now. I'm so upset. Why don't I want to fix my Nugget bike? Yeah, never let it be said that you can't take this video as a looks can be deceiving and don't judge a book by its cover Darman level stupidity message. Because you look at this bike, and if you are like a mountain bike person, you will turn and run away immediately. But don't do that! Just give it a shot first before you immediately decide that it's stupid, because you might turn into me and slowly transition into a functioning member of society on your Concorde Class 2, the stupid e-bike with one big thing that connects the front wheels to the back wheels instead of two. Thank you guys for watching. I need to go lay down.